You may say, I'm not even thinking that in my mind. What do you mean you're accusing me of this pride? That thought did not even enter my mind. Yes, you may not even have thought about that. But our actions also betray our innermost attitudes. Right? Our inner attitudes are revealed by our outer actions. What is in the heart comes out. As the deer panted for the water, so longeth after thee. You alone are my heart's desire, and I long to worship thee. As the deer, as the deer panted for the water, so my soul longeth after thee. So longs after you, Lord. You alone are my heart's desire. You alone. We long to worship you. As the deer pants, as the deer panted for the water, so longeth after thee. Oh, you alone are my heart's desire, and I long to worship. You alone are my strength. You alone are my strength, my shield. To you alone may my spirit yield. Why does God make us to ask Him? There are many reasons that are given for this. I want to focus on only one reason, okay? Why does God simply stand there and wait for us to ask Him? Let me give you the reason. Only one reason we're going to look at. Because until I ask, God really cannot help me. Because I am not ready to accept His help. Listen carefully. Until I pray and ask, God really cannot help me. Because I am not ready to accept His help. I'll give you an example. When I was in 6th standard, I had a maths teacher, excellent, very good teacher. He taught very well, and that's one of the reasons I didn't have much problem in mathematics. He sort of laid a good foundation, He taught very well, but, he used to give a lot of homework, and so it was not very easy. So he will say after class, many times he will say, after school, if you want help, come to me and ask. Come and see me after school. You see, he lived in the school as a hostel warden, and he was not even married at that time. And so he'll spend all his time with the students. So he'll say, he'll announce in the class, 50 students are there, and he'll announce, say, after school, anybody can come, any day, anytime, I'm right here, come ask for help. I'll teach you. If you have any doubts, I'll teach you. You can take as much time as you want, no charges, no tuition fee, nothing, free. You can come daily if you want. All of you can come. Whoever wants can come. I used to think, what an offer, Not many people will say that, And I used to go a few times, But guess what? Nobody went. there's maybe 1 or 2 or 3 people out of the 50 that went. Every time I go to him, he'll be totally free. I'll wonder, this man made such a big announcement, such an offer of help, and he's saying it repeatedly again and again. No fellow is going, And he was not only a good teacher, he was also a strict teacher, He'll check the homework daily and he'll give punishment, At least he'll scold you to your face, He'll give you a blasting like that, And then when the exam came, all the people who failed in mathematics got below pass mark. He gave them a literal blasting with a caning, He beat them physically. Okay, now it's hard to find places where they do that, right? But he used to have a good cane and he used to spank them, So when the marks came out after the exam, it will take 1 full period for the spanking. Because all the failures would line up, and then one by one he will spank them. A lot of people failed in the first exam, and I thought, okay, because they got good spanking, now at least they will go. But guess what? Nobody went. Hardly anybody went. See? What does this show you? This shows you that these guys are willing to fail. They are okay with failing in maths, okay with getting the scolding in the house, getting the beating from him, and to manage the beating, they will, on the day the mark sheet arrives, they know they're going to fail. They will come ready with extra padding and all, some of them. You see, I'm not joking. Really, this happened, And he came to find out, and so he used to check like this, pull this and see whether it is skin tight, They're ready to do all these gimmicks. Instead of simply going to him and saying, I need your help, please help me, teach me. See? Then the half-yearly exam came, and they again got their beating. Then just before the annual exam, a few more of them went. Even then, not a lot of people went. I always used to wonder, why is it that they didn't go? You see, they didn't want this help. They were not willing to receive it. They were not ready to receive it. You may say, well, why can't God just force us to receive it, Have you tried forcing people? It doesn't work that very well. You tried forcing a teenager who doesn't want to study? You can tell him, I will get up with you. I'll wake you up at 4 o'clock, put the coffee, sit with you. I'll help you in whatever way you want. I'll join you in the tuition. You can offer him all kinds of help. If he doesn't want to study, he will not study. That's all. Some people, because they've been forced, there have been cases where they run away from home. Some people even attempt suicide and all. You hear stories like this, just because of people trying to force them. And even if they don't go that extreme, they will hate you because you force them. And when you try to force them and help them, they will not cooperate with you. You join them in some tuition, they will cheat the tuition master. See? It will be a lot better when they realize they need help and they come to you and say, okay, I'm willing, I'm ready to accept your help. Please help me. You see, God simply cannot help us without us asking, without us praying. Because when we don't ask, we really don't want His help. We are not ready to receive it, accept it. Even if He tries, we will refuse, we will hate Him for it. And God is not a God who forces human beings. He simply will not. He can, but He will not. He has chosen not to. He respects man so much. He gives man so much dignity. He says, only what you want. Okay? I will not force even good upon you. I will not force, He says. John chapter 5, verse 6. God doesn't force. You have to want it. You have to desire it. You have to express your desire in words. Open your mouth and pray. Take the time to do that. It has to happen. John chapter 5, 6. When Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he had already been there a long time, He said to him, do you want to be healed? The English is not as powerful as the Tamil. it's not just, you see, Jesus saw him lying there. Here's a man who was invalid for many years, okay? He saw him lying there, and Jesus knew, look at that verse, it says, Jesus knew that he had already been there a long time. How long time? How much of a long time? 38 years, we are told in the previous verse. This man was an invalid for 38 years. You think Jesus didn't know that? He knew that. And he's lying there. Jesus comes to him and asks, do you want to be healed? What a silly question, you may think. Of course the man wants to get healed. He's there, lying there 38 years. Why would anybody ask him, do you want to be healed? Just heal the man, you may say. But Jesus wants to know, do you want to get healed? Why? Because some people, when they are there in that condition for 38 years, they get settled in it. I'm serious. Have you noticed people sometimes, they want to change, right? They want this to change or that to change. And then they try hard, and unfortunately, for some reason, it doesn't change. So finally, one point, they give up on the idea of changing. They get settled and happy and content with this. Then so much so they don't want to move out of that. Jesus says, do you want to get healed? See? God doesn't force, see. You have to ask. See, we are used to this forcing culture, right? When we go to the wedding, we want them to come and force the biryani on us, right? Without asking, they should come and put. Yeah? We should say, no, but they should still. This is not the culture world over. If you go to the Western countries, this is not the culture. There, if you try to do this to someone, try to force them to eat more, they will get angry with you. They will think you are not respecting me. If I want, I will ask you. If I don't, means I don't, finished. There, no means no and yes means yes. In this matter of prayer, God takes the Western culture. For him, no means no, yes means yes. You have to ask. You have to ask. He will not give without asking, you see. It is only when we ask and pray that we come to a position where we are able to receive God's help. Only when we ask and pray, we come to that position where we are able to receive. See, prayer puts us in a position where we are willing and ready to receive God's help. In prayer, you go to God and you tell him, God, I need your help. I need you. I need you to help me, please. Help me. That is the moment you are ready, and that is the moment it gets released. Until then, it won't, you see. See, this is about humility. It's about humility, see. It takes humility to go to God in prayer and ask him for help. When you pray, you are saying, I'm talking about, meaningful prayer. When you go and you devote some time, when you go and privately, and go to God and say, God, I'm here because I need you. I can't do without you. I need your help. Please help me. See, that takes humility. It takes humility to ask for help. Think about it. Not everybody in the world asks for help. Have you seen how human beings relate with one another? They will not very easily ask for help, because asking for help, you need humility, see. When you say to someone, please help me, you are also saying without saying, I can't help myself. I don't know. You seem to be better than me. So, help me. I acknowledge this. See, we're not saying it. We're just saying, please help me. But behind that, please help me, all this is there, you see. For this is too much for some people. They cannot acknowledge their own, insufficiency, and so they don't do it. You notice some people won't ask for help just because it will lower their image. Nothing else. And the world also, promotes this. They say, don't ask others for help. Self-help is the best help. What a great saying. They say, you don't need another person's help. You put your mind to it. You work hard enough. You be careful enough. You plan enough. You do enough. If you do it, you can come through it. Fine, you can make it through life. The great goal of the modern world is independence. I am independent. I earn my own money. I stand on my own 2 feet. I don't need anybody I don't depend on. Have you heard people say, I came up through my own hard work and effort. Nobody helped me. How is it possible that nobody helped them? I don't care who the person is, what background they had. If they came up through life and made it, somebody had to have helped them. It's impossible. Did their parents not help them? Maybe did the teacher not help them? Are you telling me nobody helped them in their life? See, that is pride and arrogance to say, I came up without anybody helping me. It is my hard work. See, the world has a spirit of pride. Man has a spirit of pride, my friend. Especially you see this when human beings deal with other human beings in the world, And you may think, when it comes to God, the world is not like that. No, the world is like that. Even when it comes to God. I've heard people say in the West, in some very prosperous countries, they say sometimes, don't come and preach about God to us. We don't need God. We have everything we need, We got food, we got clothing, we got shelter. If you get sick, you can go to hospital, it's free. Even if we lose our job, we get unemployment benefits. We don't have any needs. Go and preach about your God to somebody who doesn't have anything, they say. Such pride and arrogance is out there in the world, you see. Surely we won't say that. I'm not saying you will say that or I will say that. No, we will never say that. We are far better than them. But by our failure to pray, when we neglect to pray, when we fail to pray, when we don't give it the priority it needs to get, we also betray a little pride in our hearts. See, by neglecting to pray, what we are saying without saying is this: God, today I'm very busy. I need to focus my full time and energy on these very important things. And therefore, I'm not able to devote any time for you today. Today, I can manage my life without your help. Just today, God, I don't need your. Today, I will manage it with my own hard work, which is going to be some extra work today, a lot of things to do. Today, I will manage it with my own ability and wisdom and my own effort. I understand there are some days where it becomes unavoidable. You can't pray. I understand that. I'm not talking about that, okay? If it's 1 or 2 days that you're not able to pray, that's fine. But sometimes it becomes like life itself is so busy, the week itself is so busy, the month itself is so busy. Month was so busy, it's gone without prayer. See, there is a serious problem. It's okay 1 or 2 days when it goes and it's unavoidable, when it's really unavoidable, that's fine. But when you say the week itself was busy, the month itself was busy, 2 months were busy, I'm hardly able to spend any time in prayer, there is something seriously wrong there. You may say, I'm not saying, God, I can manage it without your help in my life today. Surely we won't say that. Of course we don't say that. But our actions speak louder than our words, unfortunately. You may say, I'm not even thinking that in my mind. What do you mean you're accusing me of this pride? That thought did not even enter my mind. Yes, you may not even have thought about that. But our actions also betray our innermost attitudes. Right? Our inner attitudes are revealed by our outer actions. What is in the heart comes out. See? Or it doesn't come out because it's not there. You see, this is not a surprise. See, since we are in this world which is filled with pride, this pride comes and sticks on to us also. We get influenced by it without even knowing it. We don't want to be proud or anything like that. No, we don't have any bit of pride when it comes to God. Surely that is not our desire. But without us knowing it, without us realizing it, comes and sticks to us. You may say, no, I don't accept what you're saying. This is just a simple problem of the busyness of life. We are living in a modern 21st century world with the cell phone. I cannot get rid of my cell phone, It's just too busy. Martin Luther said, the founder of the Reformation, 500 years back, probably the greatest revival to happen in the history of the church. He said, he is the man credited to have started the Reformation. And he said this about his own prayer life. He said, every day I make sure I pray at least 1 hour. Okay? And then he says, there are some days which get really busy and very difficult. On those days, I make sure I go to all lengths to make sure that I pray at least 2 hours. And then he explains it. He says, it's on the busy and difficult day that you need the prayer more. It's when your life gets too busy, you need the prayer more, not less. When you pray during difficult, busy times, you are saying, God, today I'm not going to live depending on my own strength because it is not enough. My own wisdom, it is not enough. Lord, today, especially today, I need what you have kept ready for me. I need your supply of strength, your supply of wisdom. I need you today more than any other day, oh Lord. Help me. See, that takes humility. That also takes faith, doesn't it? When you got a lot of things to do, and still you put all those, you sort of put them aside and you spend time in prayer, that is faith. Why? You're saying, God, I can do many things, but still I'm spending this time with you because I think it's worth it. I believe something good is going to come out of this. You see, what I'm trying to say is, when you take the time to pray and when you do some serious praying like this, it brings you into a position of humility, a position of faith, where now you become ready to receive from God. It's like you got to get in the right circle, the circle of humility and faith. The blessing is ready to be poured out. God is ready to give it. There's no problem on that side. There's a problem on this side. It's like how to catch a cricket. In cricket they have like catches, right? You know how to catch it. You've got to first get into position under the ball, right? You think the ball is coming here, you got to get into that position, You can't be very far from where it's going to land and try to catch the ball. No, you got to be right under it and you got to know it's coming here. It's like that, right? If the ball is coming here, you can't be like there, right? God's blessing is coming here. A lot of people are not even in the stadium. They're not ready, Some of them are in the stands. Some of them are somewhere on the ground on the other side. They have to get in the position, right, where they will be able to receive from Him. They're not ready to receive from Him. See, when you take that time apart and you set it aside for prayer and you do that sort of meaningful, serious prayer, enter with humility and faith, what happens? You get into that circle where now you're able to catch it, sort of, where you can receive, right?
Let's put our hands together. These are some awesome days that we live in, right? Days of Elijah, bearing the word of the Lord. These are the days of the servant Moses, righteousness being restored. These are days of great triumphs, famine and darkness and sword. Still with a voice in the desert, crying, preparing the way of the Lord. Behold, He comes, riding on clouds, shining like sun. At the trumpet calls, lift your voice. It's a year of jubilee, and out of Zion's hill salvation comes. These are the days of Ezekiel, the dry bones becoming His flesh. These are the days of His servant David rebuilding the temple of praise. These are the days of the harvest. The fields are as white in the world. We are the laborers in your vineyard, declaring the word of the Lord. Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. And the trumpet calls, so lift your voice. It's the year of Jubilee. Out of Zion's hill, salvation. Behold, behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, so lift your voice. It's the year of Jubilee. Out of Zion's hill, salvation comes. There's no God like our God. See it. There's no God like Jehovah. 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 Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet calls, so lift your voice. It's the year of Jubilee. Out of Zion's hill, salvation. Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet calls, so lift your voice. It's the year of Jubilee. Out of Zion's hill, salvation. Who was and who is to come. Who was and who is to come. Who was and who is to